Oh boy, there's a lot to talk about. Half the world right now is talking about the rapture, and the other half of the world's talking about Brother Charlie Kirk. I wanted to mention a couple of things about Brother Charlie Kirk, and I watched his memorial service yesterday, and man, I was touched by it. I was moved by it. Just sensed such a tangible presence of God in that place. I believe a lot of people were born again as the result of the gospel that went forth in such a powerful way. And also just the love and the forgiveness that was expressed by Erica toward the very person who committed this crime against her husband and against her is just amazing. And it's an example of what true Christianity really is. But, there's a lot of stuff circulating, and particularly concerning the church as a whole and their response to what happened to Brother Charlie Kirk. And one of the things I've been hearing pastors say and people say is, I'm not going to worship Charlie Kirk in my church. And, well, first of all, we shouldn't worship any man and treat any man like he is something other than what he actually is or actually was. I watched the memorial service yesterday, as I stated, and I can tell you, nobody's worshiping Charlie Kirk, at least not as a whole. I mean, there may be some crazy person somewhere doing something like that, but as a whole, that's not what was going on. There was so much glory given to God. In examining and looking back at Charlie Kirk's life, you see that he gave God the glory. He did not take glory for himself. But I want to read a scripture to you, and this is my response to people who say, we're not worshiping Charlie Kirk. Well, in Mark 14, it says, "And being in Bethany at the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at the table, a woman came having an alabaster flask of very costly oil of spikenard. Then she broke the flask and poured it out on his head. But there were some who were indignant among themselves and said, 'Why was this fragrant oil wasted?'" In other accounts, we see that Judas was the one leading this. And he said, "Why was this not sold and given to the poor?" He's scoffing at this. He's indignant about this. He's upset about this. Sounds familiar. Anyway. And it says in verse 5, they criticized her sharply. They criticized her sharply. But notice how Jesus responded in verse 6. Jesus said, "Let her alone, leave her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a good work for me. For you have the poor with you always, and whenever you wish you may do them good, but me you do not always have." So they're coming against her, criticizing her because, she needs to be helping the poor. And Jesus is saying, she can help the poor anytime she wants. You can help the poor anytime you want. What does that have to do with what's happening right now? See, she's honoring Jesus before his burial. Jesus is about to die and give his life for the world, and she's honoring that. What does that have to do with helping the poor? He said, you can help the poor anytime you want. Why are you criticizing what she's doing right now and the honor that she's showing me? Watch what Jesus says here. He said, "Assuredly, I say to you," watch this, "wherever this gospel is preached in the whole world, what this woman has done will also be told as a memorial to her." Ooh, man, that's good. It'll be done as a memorial to her. Is Jesus against memorials of people who honor him and do things for him? No, he's not. And this is not worship of Mary. This isn't worshiping her or putting her on a pedestal she shouldn't be on. He said, wherever this gospel is preached, this woman, what she did today, is going to be told as a memorial for the gospel. Holding a memorial to somebody, honoring their life, making a big deal about what they did for God on the earth, it's not idolatry, it's honor.